Hello, this is George Loker, and I have a supplemental video that I'd like to cover regarding a special presentation called Did You Know? And this video is going to play for both the tech apps and the career classes. If you've already seen it, go ahead and watch it again and consider where you are in your career search, whether you're in the tech class or the career class, and how it pertains to technology, the things that you're interested in. When you walk into a McDonald's and on the left-hand side is an order kiosk, whose job did that take? It took your job. That order kiosk used to be extra people at the counter. One of my first jobs when I was 16 years old was at Whataburger, and we opened up a store, and we would have 2 or 3 people standing at the cash register, plus the people in the drive-thru register. Today, you walk into Taco Bell, you walk into a McDonald's, you find an order kiosk where you punch in your order. Or they give you bonuses to order on your app ahead of time. So things are changing, and I'd like you to consider the concepts that are going to be presented in this about a 7-minute presentation. There is some audio, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and hopefully we'll hear that audio. During the course of this slideshow, there are going to be some ideas that it's us against them. It's not. That's not the purpose of this video. The point is, there's a lot of people just like you. And we are in competition. You're in competition with the people that you go to school with, that are going to the other schools, that are your neighbors. When you turn 16, y'all are all going to be fighting for the same jobs. And when you turn 22, you're going to be fighting for the same jobs. So it's very important that we are working to make sure you're the very most employable. Now, that idea that China would have a labor surplus, it just simply illustrates that they could take all of our jobs. And things are changing. Things are constantly in motion. For every minute in this 7-minute presentation, quite a few people will have been born. We don't keep the same job anymore. By the time you're 38, you're likely to have gone through 10 jobs. Whereas it used to be that you used to work for a company all your life. Today, you might work for them for a year. In fact, about 1 out of 2 people have worked for their current job for less than 5 years. And here's the thing that you want to keep in mind. The top 10 jobs currently didn't even exist 10 years ago. And my job as an educator is that I'm preparing you for jobs using technologies that haven't even been invented yet to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. So it's very difficult for myself in the position that I'm in to prepare you for something that I don't even know exactly what I'm preparing you for. Most of y'all are 12, 13 years old right now. What is 23 going to look like for you? If you were to look at the list on this screen right now, you would think that would be America. But it's not. It's England. And it was actually at the turn of the century, 1900. We're behind as a nation. We're behind as a community here in Southeast Texas. Part of it is because of what are our priorities. I get it. Right now is a strange time, but we spend more money on on game systems than we do on education, research, and development. A lot of it has to do with priorities. Football players make more money, and that's okay. I get it. They work really hard. I love football, but you know what? The fact is, things are changing. And one of the things that's changing is social media. And you are pushing content. You tweeting, you Snapchatting, you Instagramming. When you do that, you're actually pushing content that used to live only in newspapers and magazines that are now out of existence. Today we talk about in terms of before Google. Here we are on Google Classroom. I've mentioned that I've been using Google for a while, but all of a sudden now the entire world has turned to Google for the solutions. And today we send more text messages than the entire population of the planet. There's more words, there's more books being generated, and we're living in what's called an exponential time, because every single day you're publishing content, you're creating information. In fact, you're going to be exposed to more information in your lifetime, in just like in a period of a few days, that some people would experience in their entire lifetime. So it is a very special time. We used to talk about, when I was your age, megabytes. Today we talk about exabytes, terabytes, gigabytes of information. And it's actually estimated to be more than in the previous 5,000 years, and it's just going to keep doubling as we go through. And soon they expect that it's going to double the amount of information every 72 hours. And part of this has to do with fiber optics. It's being laid all around Beaumont and all across the area. The pushes of 10 trillion bits of data down one single strand of glass that used to take huge amounts of copper. And the fiber, the glass, can transmit so much data. That's how you can watch Netflix in one room and somebody else can watch Netflix in another room. In order to go faster, all they got to do is improve the switches on the end. The glass has already been laid. It's been laid in Beaumont, for example. They're predicting that it'll be cheaper to produce an electronic device than it is to produce paper. And some of these estimates are kind of hard to work out. It's the further out it gets. But the idea is that perhaps a $1,000 computer will exceed the capability of the human brain. So one of the things I want you to think about now, today, where will you be when you're 23? And what careers will you be interested in? And how many careers will you have gone through? And what kinds of technology will be around? The iPhone, for example, has only been around for around 11, 12 years. What will 2050 look like for you? What would it mean to have a computer that can, how is it that we have automated driving cars? Computer technology. What is your life going to look like in technology? And the thing I want you to keep in mind is that shift is happening. Now be careful how you say that around other people. It's shift with an F. But things are changing. Your life is changing. Technology is evolving. And if we're not preparing for it, then we're going to be behind. We're going to be even further behind. So a couple of stats that you want to look at right here, a couple of quotes to keep in mind. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. We want you to become problem solvers. The very first thing I want you to think when you're stuck is, what do I need to do to solve the problem? The last thing I want you to do is reach out for help and ask for somebody else. People are there. Hey, when I was your age, I wanted my parents to, spell words for me. They'd tell me to go look it up. I didn't like looking it up. When I went to Beaumont schools, and I actually went to Vincent Middle School. But you know what? It's part of the process of becoming that problem solver. The next comment right here, think about where you would hear this. You can either learn what we are teaching you, or you can learn to say, would you like fries with that? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's called a suggestive sell. And I learned how to suggest a sell at age 16. Suggestive sell, though, doesn't help you. It helps who owns the business. So if you're suggestive selling for McDonald's or Whataburger, and they're making more money because you just sold extra fries, sure, you'll feel good that you did a good job, but you're building their business, not your business. So we got to put you in a position where you are positioning yourself for greatness. Do what you have to do in order to do what you want to do. Look, there are Mustangs out there every day that come to school, work hard. Most of y'all are signed up in your classroom already. You're already putting forth your best effort. Those that work hard are going to see great results. I'm not saying it always works out that way. I've worked really hard in my life, and I got a really successful life and things like that. And you'll learn more about me and the things that I've done. But just because you work hard doesn't mean that you're going to have all the successes. But if you don't work hard, you definitely aren't going to have some of the successes that you see around you. So you have to do what most people around you won't. And that last sentence right there is, if you want to be successful, you got to do what others won't so you can have what others don't. So that's this presentation here for you. It's a very special one that I'd like to share with you. And keep in mind, shift is happening. Are you going to adapt and change with it?